Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 24th of April and we will see 10 important questions of the day. Today all of the questions is very important, so be attentive till the end. And first let us see question for the day. You have to answer this question in the comment section, and on weekend, that is on Sunday, we will see how many of you were the most consistent in answering all the questions correctly throughout the week. So the question is, Global Press Freedom Index is published by. These are the list. Read the options carefully and then answer. Let's begin. The first question, Feluda, which is in news recently, is related to. So Feluda here is related to diagnosis of COVID-19. This Feluda is a low-cost paper strip test which can detect new coronavirus within just an hour. And it has been developed by scientists at CSIR, that is Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology. It will cost around rupees 500 against the present RT-PCR test that cost rupees 4,500 in private labs. To do RT-PCR test, we bring kits from United States of America, but once the indigenous kits will begin, we will not import RT-PCR kits. And this kit uses CRISPR-Cas9 system. Remember CRISPR-Cas9 system. This system is a gene editing tool. So using this, we can detect the presence of COVID-19 in a patient. Next question. The famous verdict of Indra Sawhney case was given in. So the famous verdict of Indra Sawhney case was given by Supreme Court in 1992. Remember the year, very important. In 1992, Supreme Court gave the verdict of Indra Sawhney case. Under this case, Supreme Court upheld the 27% quota for backward classes, which we called as OBC. Also in this case, Supreme Court upheld that the principle of combined reservation beneficiaries, that it should not exceed 50% of the total India's population. 50%, that Supreme Court barred the limit that reservation cannot exceed beyond 50% of the total population of the country. However, in this context, you have to remember the amendment of 103rd Constitutional Amendment, which was brought in 2019 by Parliament of India, which provided 10% reservation in government jobs and educational institutions for the economically backward section who are in unreserved category. Remember, these economically backward sections should be in unreserved category, and certain criteria were set, like the annual income should not be beyond 8 lakh rupees and some other land holdings and some size of house. These are the limits which were set by the government. But remember, this amendment, 103rd Constitutional Amendment, gave the 10% reservation in government jobs to economically backward section. And why this case and this Constitutional Amendment Act was in news? Because recently Supreme Court struck down decision of Andhra Pradesh government. Andhra Pradesh government recently decided to reserve all the seats for school teacher for STs, that is for scheduled tribes. But Supreme Court said that this goes against the values of Constitution and it violates right to equality, that every person has right to get into the public service and public employment, and no category should be barred from it. It will also restrict the employment of SCs and OBCs and not only the other criteria people. Next question. VidyaDaan 2.0 has been launched by. So VidyaDaan 2.0 has been launched by Ministry of HRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource and Development. This VidyaDaan 2.0 is a common national program for individuals and organizations. Remember, both individuals and organizations across the country can contribute e-learning resources for both school and higher education to ensure continuity of quality learning. And this content will be used through Diksha app to help millions of students across the country. Next question. This question is again very important. Be attentive here. Consider the following statements about zoonosis. Zoonosis refers to diseases transmitted from animals to humans. This statement is correct. We refer those diseases which are transmitted from animals to human as zoonotic diseases, and the emergence of such zoonosis or zoonotic diseases is often associated with environmental changes or ecological disturbances. This is also correct. See, because of deforestation or because of clearing of forest by us for different purposes, like to set up industries, to do agriculture here, to settle human settlements, we are coming in contact with such viruses. Otherwise, these viruses are not new. They have been in the environment already, but they were restricted in the forest. But now, since we are clearing the forest, we are coming in direct contact with these viruses. So here both these statements are correct. So C is the right answer. So these are some examples of zoonotic diseases. Tuberculosis is a zoonotic disease. Rabies, malaria, Ebola, avian flu, Zika, and now the coronavirus. So all of these are zoonotic disease which passed on to human from animals. Next question. The power of president to issue ordinance is provided under which article of the Constitution? Remember, this question is very important again. So Article 123 of the Indian Constitution provides president to issue ordinance. And the ordinance, what is ordinance? See, ordinance is a decree or a law promulgated by a state or national government. But the difference is, ordinance is passed without the consent of the legislature. See, a law is passed by the consent of both of the houses of parliament and the state legislature if it is bicameral. But here the ordinance is passed by president in case of parliament and governor in case of state legislature without the consent of legislature. And this power can be used only when either of the two houses of parliament is not in session. Remember that if Lok Sabha is not in session, then president can issue such an ordinance. Again, if Raj Sabha is not in session, then again president can issue such an ordinance. Because to pass a law, the law needs to be passed by both the houses and not by one houses. In India, only Lok Sabha or either Raj Sabha cannot pass a law. A law or a bill has to be passed by both of the houses and then assented by the president. Then only a bill in India becomes an act. That is why when either of the house is not in session, the law cannot be passed. So in such situation, when there is need to pass a law, president can use Article 123 to pass an ordinance, so that for the time being that ordinance can fill the requirements. And remember that when ordinance is passed, it must be approved by both of the houses of parliament within 6 months of its reassembly. Remember the period of 6 months, that an ordinance must be passed by both of the houses of parliament within 6 months of reassembly of both the houses of parliament. Otherwise, this ordinance will cease to exist and it will not be in operation at all. While the same power is given to governor in Article 213. So governor can also issue ordinance under Article 213, while president can issue such an ordinance under Article 123. Remember both these articles. Why it was in use? Recently, president has given his assent to an ordinance passed to amend the Epidemic Diseases Act 1897. This ordinance will make acts of violence against healthcare workers as cognizable and non-bailable offences. You must have heard the news that it is very sad that people are attacking on healthcare workers. So what is cognizable here? Cognizable means police can arrest a suspect without a warrant. In normal circumstances, we have seen in some previous videos that in normal circumstances, Constitution provides us right that without warrant, police cannot arrest us. or even police arrested us, they have to tell us the reason for such arrest within 24 hours, and we need to be presented before the nearest district magistrate. But here, in cognizable offense, police can arrest a suspect even without a warrant, and it will also make such acts of violence as non-bailable offenses, and they can be punished from 3 months to 5 years, and a fine of rupees 50,000 to rupees 2 lakh can also be imposed on them. In case of grievous injuries, accused can be sentenced from 6 months to 7 years, and they can also be penalized up from rupees 1 lakh to rupees 5 lakh rupees. And if they harm the vehicles of government officials, then also the double the charge of total cost or the market value of that vehicle will be imposed on that accused. Next question, Matterhorn mountain is located in Matterhorn mountain is located in Switzerland. And I would say to those who are new to the channel should revise all the previous current affairs, because it is very essential that you cover all the important current affairs. We have dealt everything very thoroughly, and those who have been consistent with us since the beginning should also complete their current affairs before examinations, because before examinations it will get backlog and it will be difficult for you to revise. So dedicate one day in a week, let's say, and it will take around only 5 to 6 hours to revise the whole month of current affairs. It will help you to thoroughly cover your current affairs. And I have also started weekly current affairs series. So part 1 of that weekly current affairs series has already been uploaded. So I will share that icon of that video in the end. Tap on that icon and watch that video too. And next day, that is on Saturday, part 2 of weekly current affairs will also be uploaded. So that weekly current affairs portion will cover your all the factual questions in detail. So don't forget to watch that too. Next question now. Consider the following statements about nutrient-based subsidy scheme. See, nutrient-based subsidy scheme aims to ensure the availability of fertilizers to farmers at an affordable price. This statement is correct. It provides subsidy to farmers to ensure that fertilizers are available to farmers at an affordable price, and it is being implemented by the Department of Fertilizers, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers. This is also correct. So this department comes under Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, and this has been implementing this nutrient-based subsidy scheme since 2010. So here both these statements are correct. C is the right answer. And under this, a fixed amount of subsidy is decided on an annual basis, and this subsidy is provided largely for secondary nutrients, which include nitrogen, phosphate, potassium and sulfur. So let's see the change in prices now. The price for nitrogen has been reduced to rupees 18.78 per kg from earlier 18.90 per kg. See, this is again very important, because in examinations they don't even hesitate to ask the present price of subsidy provided by Government of India to farmers. So you have to remember it, and there is no alternative for it. Remember that for nitrogen it has been reduced to rupees 18.78. For phosphorus it has been reduced to 14.88 per kg, where earlier it was 15.21 per kg. Remember, 14.88 per kg. For potassium it has been reduced to 10.1111 rupees per kg, while for sulfur it has been reduced to rupees 2.37 per kg. And it is to be noted that ammonium phosphate have also been included under this NBS scheme. So these are the decisions taken by government recently. So remember all the decisions. Next question. Consider the following statements about International Telecommunication Union, in short called as ITU. It is the oldest specialized agency of United Nations. This statement is correct. you have to be attentive here that you have to focus on both these parts, that whether it is a specialized agency of United Nations. So yes, it is a specialized agency of United Nations. Whether it is the oldest specialized agency, yes, again it is the oldest specialized agency of ITU. Next statement is it is headquartered in Geneva, which is in Switzerland. So this statement is again correct. So here both the statements are correct. C is the right answer. And remember that there are total 15 specialized agency of United Nations. Out of it, ITU is the oldest one. And the functions of ITU is to allocate global radio spectrum and satellite orbits, develop the technical standards that ensure networks availability throughout the world. And this ITU was established in the year of 1865. Remember the year 1865. Next question is related to it again. International Girls in ICT Day 2020 is being observed on. So it is observed on April 23rd. Here ICT Information Communication Technology Day is celebrated every year on the 4th Thursday of April. So this year it comes to 23rd of April. And this day is an initiative of International Telecommunication Union. We have discussed details about it, and this will encourage and empower girls and young women to consider studies and careers in growing field of ICTs, because their involvement in these fields is very minimal and it is dominated by male. Next question. Consider the following statements about classical swine fever. Again, this is very important. Be attentive. Classical swine fever. See, it is also known as hog cholera. This part of the statement is correct. And it is a contagious viral disease of domestic and wild swine. Now be attentive. It is a viral disease. This part is also correct. And this is a disease of domestic and wild swine. This is also correct. So here statement first is correct. Remember that it is also called as hog cholera and it is a viral disease. This classical swine fever affects pigs only. This statement is also correct. Earlier you must have known that swine flu affects human also, but here classical swine fever affects pigs only. So here both these statements are correct. C is the right answer. Why it was in news? Recently few districts of eastern Assam have reported the death of more than 1300 pigs within a week due to this classical swine fever. Moreover, to get more questions on important days, you have to watch this video. I upload only 2 videos in a week in 2 parts, that is part 1 and part 2. Part 1 has already been uploaded. In this, all the important facts are covered in single video, and part 2 will be uploaded on Saturday, that is next day. I will notify you. In those videos, all the important facts will be covered. In this, we have discussed important days, awards, questions related to sports, some important diseases and other things. So don't forget to watch this video too. And next question is the Kasowal bridge recently built by BRO, that is Border Roads Organization, over which river? So this Kasowal bridge has been built over river Ravi, which is a tributary of Indus River system. So here C is the right answer. And the bridge was constructed by Border Roads Organization under Project Chetak. Remember Project Chetak. We have seen all the details about different projects of Border Roads Organization in previous videos in this month only. So don't forget to complete the entire month's current affairs of April. And it is a 484 meter long bridge. So if you find the video useful, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Answer the question in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay at your home, stay safe.